So to actually finish off this project, I thought it'd be nice to have both of the top covering and the framing in the same Dynamo environment. So I've created two separate ones. This is the definition to unfold the geometry in Dynamo, and we have the one that we just really been working on, which was to create the framework. You may have had those both in the same Dynamo file. If you haven't, just an easy shortcut, you can actually copy these elements. You can go Control-C, and they will copy, and then you can go ahead and paste them in the other one. And I'll just open that one up right away. And I've already pasted this in, and I've highlighted where I pasted it right here. So I've just done Control-V then, pasted that, the unfolding part of that definition in. And the only thing I've done, the only thing we would need to do here is feed the common elements together. So in that case, it's the surface comes in and feeds the surface that we use to make the panels, and the UV UV divisions need to be fed in. So you'd be getting rid of the existing UVs and just making them all one common UV if you wanted. They could also be kept separate. And that UV feeds in, I think there's one other place that feeds into, and that's that code block. So I have to feed it down into here also. And then it's just a matter of having that report out also. But in this case, I've added in, so we have our, we've had our geometry, and then we were doing the direct shape by geometry. But just before we get to the end of that, I was taking some of the actual original geometry. First of all, the unfolded geometry goes into a transform to move it along in the diagram, so it's not sitting over the top of the original form. Just like we'd done up here, we move this, transform this surface over 100 feet out of the way so it wouldn't sit on top of the conceptual mass that we'd made. And in the same way here, I'm doing a translation of both the original form, which is now moved over 100 feet, so it's sitting right on top of the frame, and the unfolded forms, which are coming from the last transform and the surface by patch, and I move those over 130 feet just so they clear the structure. And then those are all just exported, and they're exported with another materiality, which I call gray, which is what ends up looking like white in that file or in our Revit document. So we have that set for 20 ribs and 20 panels, and we can go ahead and run that. And like I said, once again, when I exported the family, or I tried to load the family folder into a project folder, Revit was giving me a lot of errors about too many polygons. So I've decided to just stay in the family environment, and we're going to take a look at building our report right out of the family environment for this project. So I'm going to give this a few more seconds to complete running, and we'll take a look at it in the Revit family document. Okay, so here we have the original form. The frame is moved over 100 feet. I've added some transparency to the panel system so that we can see the frame through the covering. And you can see now the panels are they're spread way out, and that's because we want to adjust the spacing. So these are a few things we'll deal with when we come up to the idea of making a presentation sheet for this. And I'll experiment with that a little bit now, and then I'll come up with a final video clip to explain the things that I've done. You can see this is a huge array of panels though back here, because now we have a 20 by 20, so there's 400 panels. No, actually 800 because they're triangulated. So we have 800 panels for this form that we've created. So we'll look at a presentation next.